Emergencies and accidents can strike anywhere, anytime, and it doesn't spare anybody. It can happen to anyone. And should one be in the middle of an emergency, a rapid response can spell the difference between life and death. That's why prompt action coupled with effective coordination is very crucial in saving lives. It's a good thing that there is an emergency quick response service that is in the business of saving lives. I'm RJ Ledesma, and our bright idea is Lifeline. In any emergency that requires immediate medical attention, ambulances always come to mind. Apart from transporting patients, ambulance services can provide immediate medical care. And in the Philippines, there is an authority when it comes to that. Lifeline 16911. Its president, Michael Deacon, shares with us how they make sure that emergency medical aid is readily available with just a quick dial. I know that there's a longer communication process, which is very critical, especially in times of emergency.
Yes.
How do you cut that process?
We sell memberships for Lifeline, so it's a private rescue service. If you're a member, we have all your details already. So all you have to do is give us your name and we immediately respond. As a non-member, you're still welcome to use the service, but there's a lot of triaging that goes in. Who are you? Where are you?
I see. What makes Lifeline different from, let's say, an ambulance in a hospital?
It's dedicated just for the sole purpose of responding to an emergency outside the hospital. A hospital ambulance in a hospital is basically there responding for their needs. So it's a double handling, so to speak. You call the hospital, the ambulance responds, goes to you. It's double the distance. What Lifeline did was go directly to where the accidents happen.
Now let's step back a bit. Before it actually became Lifeline 16911, you were actually Lifeline Arrows, and you weren't part of the original organization when this was put together.
No, it was put together by a group of doctors in 1995. They had a great concept of bridging the gap between the emergency and the hospital and the emergency.
That was the original pain point that they were trying to solve. Yeah.
The problem with it was hospital-based ambulances.
Which meant
it was responding from the point of where the delivery will end up being. So it's a double handling.
In other words, it's such a long time to get there.
Too long to get there.
Too long to get over there. And I understand that in the first 2 years of business, things weren't going too well for the original business.
No, because it was selling memberships. You're selling memberships to a service that didn't exist. It was greenfields for everybody. So to try to convince people that there was an ambulance service that would just do this, to buy membership, was another flaw that they had. With the original company bleeding, Deacon had to step in and take over. His expertise in the hospitality industry helped provide the right cure for the ailing Lifeline Arrows. So when I came into Lifeline, what I saw was the lack in the business was the service standard. Imagine you come to my hotel, right? I service you first. Then when you've enjoyed your meal, then I present you with a bill.
Okay.
Right? Whereas in the medical industry in the Philippines, it's the reverse. You're usually trying to get the money out first, down payments, etc., before the service is administered. So service first, payment to follow. And that was the reversal of Lifeline, from the Arrows module to the rescue module.
But when you came in, you were there to actually close the business.
That's
but
right.
You said, hey, there's actually a chance that I can reverse this. What happened over there?
It's very difficult to close a business, aside from the obvious, which are staff. We're dealing with life and death. Every day we're dealing with somebody who needs us. My job was to keep it alive for as long as I could to try to prove that the concept works. How can you convince people to buy when there's nothing they haven't tried yet? There's no proof of concept. And how do you get critical mass in that? So we came up with the safety zones and the site coverages that cover the majority of the people for one membership.
Okay. How does that work?
We went directly, for instance, to the railway, to the MRT. Then we did it with the villages. So we started with Bel Air, Ayala Alabang, Salcedo Village, so on and so forth. Nobody wants to experience riding an ambulance.
That's right.
Kids sometimes, but nobody wants to. It's not something you want to avail. But to make sure that we were fast and that people could see it, we covered everybody.
were there the dark days where you thought the business was actually going to close down under your watch?
My board at the time called many consultants to come in to tell us that the business model was flawed.
Okay.
The business was going to fail, under this module. I believe in service, right? The same thing, all hotels will close, all restaurants will close if they had that same mentality. Service them first, do your best, and they will pay. We went from 60% bad debt, during the old module, to 95% of the people paying.
And right now, if we were to take a look at the business of Lifeline, how many subscribers do you have, and how many people actually call in a day?
Right now, to answer the question on subscribers, we went from the individual and family, which we have several thousands, tens of thousands of, to the corporate memberships of site and zone coverage. Under that, we have 350 members covering 4.7 million people in Metro Manila.
Wow.
We average 80 emergencies a day, and growing.
But if you think about it, that's just 4.7 million people, and there's still a lot of people to cover across the country.
We calculate it's 1/3 of the Metro Manila population, that we're covering right now.
Mike, I am very curious to find out how you immediately respond to any emergencies in the area. But right before that, let's take a short break. The 1970s saw the emergence of ambulance services as extensions for hospitals. Around the same time, both LGUs and NGOs used transport services for health emergencies. But it was only in 1995 when Lifeline Arrow, the country's first professional ambulance service, was established. So tell us a bit more about what that screen is showing us right now.
Okay, all of our ambulances, all our vehicles in Lifeline are GPS tracked. This is a way of transparency to our members. So when an accident happens, we're spread from Batangas up to Subic to Olongapo, Pangasinan on the highways. So when an emergency comes, the first timestamp is the call that came in. During the course of an emergency, every second from the time of call is accounted for.
Okay.
It's also a way of making sure our crew are doing the right thing and moving the fastest possible way.
Okay. So what's sort of like the average time that you can respond to any emergency?
Yeah, that's a good question. Our average time in Lifeline is 12 minutes. The reason why we can do that is with the way we position our ambulances. Earlier I had mentioned that we pulled out of the hospital-based ambulances. We put the ambulances where the emergencies happen. So we're in schools, villages, buildings. That's where we are. That's where the accidents are about to happen. So in Makati City, for instance, our fastest response time there on average is 7 minutes.
Wow. Lifeline has a 24-hour dispatch center, assuring that emergency response is within reach, whether at home, at work, or at play. Now, just to clarify the whole process, if you are a member of Lifeline and there's an emergency, the first way they contact you is obviously through
Conventional means.
the phone.
Yes.
Okay. Then after the phone, the next that will be like majority, right?
Majority will be called through 16911 directly on the landline.
And in other cases, you also have an app, right?
Yes, we do. During an emergency, sometimes people will call, they'll pass out. They're panicking, they won't know where they are.
Okay.
This applies to anybody. So we designed an app that will locate where you are in case you don't know where you are or you pass out. It's a redundancy plan. So if this place goes down in an earthquake, we can immediately go mobile, with the app. So it's a way of being able to keep in touch with us.
And you recommend to all of the members to download
The app.
this app over here. And how about if you are not a member of Lifeline? How do they get in touch with you? Just the same number as well?
Same through 16911. You can download the app for free, but we don't know who you are.
Okay.
So again, the triage will start for non-members.
I see.
With members, with all the information that we get from them or we encourage them to give, we know what's wrong with you, where you are, where you want to be taken, because you've given us that information.
And if you're a non-member that you contact over here, do you immediately send an ambulance to them if they're a non-member?
For non-members, there's still a triage process.
Triage
who
as
you
well.
are, where you are, but we will send, Once you dial 16911, whether member or non-member, the ambulance is on the way.
Can you run me through how the app works and how you send the ambulance to them? Let's try it from
Sure,
the phone.
we developed the app, again, to locate you if you don't know where you are or you can't communicate with us.
So for example, you can communicate.
So simply press the
app.
So right now the app is ringing the call center. There you go.
That sound. So that's the sound. But immediately you see that it's calling the number.
Yeah, it's calling the number.
16911 dispatch, and it comes out over here.
Confirm location.
The location, sir, is at Mahalir at Mahori for
So without mentioning anything, not talking, they've located where I am
Wow.
right now. Now they're calling me back to confirm that I'm there.
Okay.
If I don't answer the phone, the ambulance will come straight to where the phone is. Right? If I answer the phone, then I'll be. I'm just doing a check. Where's my current location? Thank you.
Wow. Does your location have to also be open on your phone for them to find you?
No, because it's basically the signal of the phone.
The signal of
yeah.
the phone that they're looking
We're working
for
with
over there.
Globe and Smart, with the telcos, of trying to get on the white list to make sure that even if it's there's no money, no load in the prepaid phones, you could still call Lifeline.
I see.
But these are the early stages of showing that the concept works. The other one that is being marketed to aggressively will be the tourists, because they don't know where they are when they come to the Philippines, or they can't pronounce the names of the streets.
Excellent, excellent. So that's really, I see a lot of opportunity as to how to grow Lifeline, not just here in Metro Manila, but even in the provincial areas, especially just scaling this up. But Mike, what I really want to find out is Lifeline making money? But before that, let's take a short break. In 2017, the World Health Organization reported that almost 7,000 Filipinos die annually, and thousands more are injured due to road incidents. This, along with crime-related incidents and household accidents, are the most commonly reported incidents by ambulance services. But as recently as 2015, the ambulance-to-person ratio was 2016 to 1. We need more ambulances if we want to save more lives. When I look at competition for you guys, it's either, as I see it, direct competition if the ambulances of the hospitals, or maybe there's another provider who's doing the same thing as you. So tell us a bit more. Who do you perceive as competition for Lifeline?
Well, we're over the last 20 years. So competition-wise, we don't have anyone competing with us on emergency quick response.
Okay.
That's really our market. The competition comes in on the taxi service, what's called the conduction or IFT, interfacility transfers.
Okay.
That's hospital home, home to hospital, on a booking system.
Okay.
Standbys for events, marathons. There's a few competitions there. But for what we do, we're still unfortunately the only ones.
Now, at the same time, the way that I've seen how you built the system, it looks like you're getting ready to scale the business. Am I right?
Yes, we are ready to scale the business. The factors that were holding us back initially were there was no license to have an ambulance. Anybody could just put one up, get a van, put ambulance on it, and run it. Now, with the Department of Health, it took many years, almost 15 years with them, to develop what's called now the license to operate an ambulance. To use the word ambulance.
I see.
Because we made the argument that ambulance it's not even an English word, it's a French word, meaning walking hospital. It was developed by Napoleon.
Yeah.
And it's to bring the emergency room to the battlefield in that case. In our case, it's to bring the emergency room to the patient.
I see. So that's why it took, let's say, if I look at it, it's been 25 years long, but you only plan to scale, say, quote-unquote, late in the game, because basically the regulations weren't in place yet.
The regulations weren't in place, and this is not a business you can advertise just by putting a billboard up on EDSA saying call, if you're not ready to do it.
I see.
To handle Metro Manila alone, you need over 100 ambulances dedicated for emergencies. We're up to 80, we're up to 57 now, dedicated emergency ambulances. So we're still halfway to the mark of being able to say, here, call us, anybody.
Okay.
That's why the membership.
Indeed, the business of emergency medical services in this country has a long way to go. But Lifeline is up to the challenge, even when it comes to funding. And now let's step back a bit and let's look at the financial aspect of the business. When you came into the business many years ago,
you didn't come in to own. You just came in to close the business. So you had no ownership of the business.
None.
Is that right?
Yes.
And when you came on board, you assumed all the debt of the business as well.
Yes. We were flat broke, and but because we're saving lives, because what we're doing, is so important, I managed to get all my staff together, and we sat down and worked out the strategy of how to be able to do this, continue to save lives, everybody still get paid, and start to build a business from there.
I see.
And that's what we did for the last 11 years.
So technically, you were bootstrapping.
We're bootstrapping.
For 11 years, you
Yeah.
were bootstrapping.
Banks wouldn't touch us, the finance companies wouldn't touch us. So everything was done on the staff level, and borrowing money from whoever would lend it. They all got paid back, but the agreement I had with my staff was, not only will you get paid, but we'll train you to international standards. Problem is we train them so well, so they're all over Europe, they're all over the Middle East, all over in the US. They're called Lifeliners, and there are thousands of them who have come through Lifeline, given their best 1 year, 2 year service, and then left the country.
Okay. How do you plan to scale the business right now? Do you plan to offer up more equity of the business? Do you plan to bring in a venture capitalist to help the business grow?
Well, after 19 years and a lot of soul searching, I just found a partner now, to bring it up to the next level. So I gave up 50% of my shares to be able to now grow it outside Metro Manila.
I see.
So we want to go the next 3 years across Luzon, all the way to Lawag. It's called the Spine, up the highway, all the way down, and then go to the provinces.
I see.
That one we're probably looking at a franchise basis, so long as they maintain the standards.
With over 250,000 lives saved, Lifeline will continue with its mission of providing the most reliable and efficient emergency medical response service in the country.
At the end of 5 years, where do you actually see Lifeline?
Where I see Lifeline? In every barangay in the Philippines.
Wow.
That's what I want. I've always said Lifeline is not my company. Lifeline is a legacy that's being built, and it needs to just maintain and grow and keep growing.
And like what we talked about earlier on, offline, you were talking about the idea that, if it was profit that you wanted, profit you would have gotten, but that the services would not be affordable.
If to maintain international standards and to make money on this, we would charge international prices as well. You're now charging $2,000, $4,000 a response. You can't afford that here. The mission of Lifeline has been to make sure it's affordable for everyone. Everybody in your house, everybody from the kasambahay to the owner of the house, to the highways, from the people driving the Mercedes-Benzes and the Porsches, all the way down to the jeepney drivers and bus passengers. It has to be affordable.
And having said all that, is Lifeline making money?
We've saved over 250,000 lives since 1995. But yes, to answer your question, it is making money. It's a company that has to keep on investing back into itself, because ambulances are perishable. They get into accidents, they break down, so we have to make sure that they're always maintained. But more importantly, every day our crew measure it by the number of lives we saved. Last year was 18,641 lives. And that's how we measure ourselves. So long as we keep on saving more and more lives every year, we're growing. With that, money is coming in because of it. But we want to make sure that, again, it's affordable for everybody.
Well, Mike, you have me convinced that I should sign up, my family should sign up, my company should sign up for Lifeline as well.
Okay, RJ, I hope you never call.
Thanks again, Mike. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
In this age of volatility and uncertainty, having an accessible emergency quick response service is no longer a matter of luxury, but of necessity. I'm RJ Ledesma. Join me again next time for another Bright Idea.